1984, that was the year Ben and Jerry introduced cookie dough ice cream for the first time. And I remember specifically because I was an instant fan, not that it's a hard sell, so much that I decided I'm just gonna forget the ice cream. I'm gonna buy straight cookie dough. This way I could just get there and eat the best part. Now, as you can imagine, this did not end well as I proceeded to overindulge in some raw cookie dough. Now, can anyone relate to this story? Well, I want you to know today that you are not alone and that there are answers. I want to go back to our ancestors where our sweet taste began. And this was perhaps a survival mechanism when it came out because it really indicated where all of the carbs and calories are that we needed for survival, as well as indicating foods that were safe to eat. Now, of the 200,000 plus years that is estimated that humans, that as we have known them, have existed, it's about 99.9999% of that time that we have not had sugar, particularly in the refined form that it is today. Prior to that, consumption was zero. Now, of course, this has sped up rapidly over the past couple hundred years, and it is no secret that the people today are eating way too much sugar. I mean, the problem is partly it's in everything. It's in our cereal, salad dressings as an example, sodas, snacks, and apparently it's about average consumption is currently 17 teaspoons a day. And this obviously is a far cry from what our ancestors ate. And more importantly, it's only been a short period of time, so we don't have time to adapt to this large consumption. So if you find that at times or maybe a lot of times, you have no control over the amount of sugar that you eat, or maybe you're just thinking about it all the time, I want you to know that you are not alone. Sugar addiction is a real condition that affects many people. As I mentioned myself, I feel that a lot of us have gotten into telling ourselves what I like to call the lie. This next bite, this next piece of whatever it is, that is the one that is going to just top me off and satisfy me. You know what I'm talking about? Well, in today's video, I am going to explain to you in part why sugar might have such a strong hold over you, and then the action steps that you can take today to loosen its grip. I am Bonni London, and after discovering the solutions to my own weight and health struggles, it is my personal mission to provide you with simple, easy to implement strategies so that you can maintain your preferred weight, live your best health, and have your best quality of life. Sugar addiction is a real issue, and it does affect quite a few people. Sugar triggers the multiple responses in the brain, and that can lead to this addictive behavior. So number one would be the release of dopamine. Dopamine is the hormone of desire that makes you go for that next bite. So when you eat sugar and dopamine is released, you feel good. And the more you eat the sugar, the more the dopamine is released. And then this creates this whole circuitry of craving and eating and pleasure and reward. Number two, sugar has been, now we understand, has opioid-like effects. So this also contributes to addiction. In fact, it's been said that it is like 8 times more addictive than maybe even heroin, cocaine. And we understand because it affects those same places in the brain and has some of those same addictive properties. And next on the list would be spiking insulin and then crashing. So no other macronutrient has the ability to trigger the response of the hormone insulin as much as, of course, processed sugar does. So when insulin is spiked, you're basically, insulin will come in, take all the glucose out of your blood, and then what? You're hungry and you want to go back for more. And finally, sugar can actually disrupt those feel-good neurotransmitters such as serotonin. And of course, when you are feeling kind of out of equilibrium after you've now tanked after the sugar, then your body says, I need more. So this is part of it too. Okay, now I am going to give you some action steps today so we can turn this ship around. So number 1 on the hit parade, of course, is going to be diet, diet, diet. And what I always like to say, instead of thinking about the stuff we're trying not to have, like the processed sugar, you really want to be focusing in on the foods you need to consume in order to support your goals. So number 1, protein, protein, protein. It is still considered one of the most satiating macronutrients. And certainly if you're hungry, that is not going to help. And then adding some healthy fat, such as some monounsaturated, saturated fat. We're talking about avocados, olives, macadamia nuts. So maybe grab those for a snack that is not going to make your blood sugar go up and down. And then we can nip this baby in the bud. And then don't forget fiber, because fiber is also going to slow the digestion of whatever you ate. So vegetables, of course, and fruit. And then I also have been suggesting some added fibers on top of that to help people reach the amount of fiber it is suggested, such as psyllium husk might be a suggestion. But the idea is this, that these foods combined, these nutrient-dense foods, is going to help keep your blood sugar stable and lower your cravings for sugar. Obviously, trying to get rid of eating the sugar. And I do think you might need to really think about giving yourself 2 weeks of kind of white knuckling it, I hate to say, unfortunately, because we do understand that we actually have receptors in our tongue and in our stomach for the sugar. But if you can really get through 2 weeks of really trying to get rid of the sugar, it is going to get easier. Number 2 on the list is exercise. So one of the things that exercise does is it helps give you that endorphin rush. It's going to help de-stress you, which is a major cause of sugar addiction and cravings. So I am not talking about exercise even in relationship to calories. Again, I am talking about it specifically in your relationship to eliminating your sugar cravings. Number 3, mindfulness. And I am talking about maybe engaging in some sort of meditation, or something that I often suggest is EFT tapping. And there are a lot of free resources on the internet that can help you with certain scripts and helping you get over the sugar addiction. Because certainly, and I just know this firsthand in my practice, one of the number 1 reasons that people talk about their increasing sugar consumption is what's going on inside their head and the stress. So anything that you can do to put the pause on for a moment, like walking outside, just distracting yourself. Maybe trick yourself and say, I can still eat XYZ, but I'm going to wait 10 minutes. And then maybe next time, you don't even want it after 10 minutes. You don't have to do this overnight, but that is just a suggestion. Finally, there is sleep. So let us not discount sleep, because when you are not getting enough sleep, it is a stress response from your body, and you probably have noticed this already because you end up even more hungry, but particularly for those high glycemic carbs and sugar. So we really do want to pay attention to having really good sleep hygiene. Now, finally, if you've got your diet and lifestyle hacks in place, you might want to consider a few supplements just to give you that extra little boost. So one supplement that has been shown to be helpful over the years with the cravings is chromium, because it helps regulate the blood sugar. And then another supplement that also is helpful is magnesium, which, by the way, gets depleted when you are stressed. So this makes also a lot of sense to be adding in magnesium because, of course, stress can trigger sugar cravings. And then a couple other would be L-glutamine, actually, which is a conditionally essential amino acid, and then probiotics. I don't think there's a day goes by I do not talk about the value of adding in some apple cider vinegar with the mother, but there are other probiotics as well, but that one is particularly helpful for helping out with the blood sugar and can help reducing cravings. Finally, I will say that I do still occasionally enjoy a high sugar treat. But the good part is it doesn't, send me off and trigger me to the return of any of those addictive behaviors. Okay, so you're going to be able to do this too. Number one, just focus first on getting the core, those diet and lifestyle habits, and slowly those sugar cravings are going to dissipate and weaken, and you will be able to, live a healthier life and achieve your weight and health goals that you are looking for. If you have found this helpful, I would love if you would subscribe and give me a thumbs up, and please put in the comment how you might use any of these suggestions yourself. And if you want to know what a personalized plan might look like for you, I would love to chat with you, and there is a link in the description below to book a no-cost call. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.